welcome to another episode of The Craft presented by Tequila Corralejo. I'm Sarah Kate Kilby and we're here in San Antonio, Texas to sit down with San Antonio FC's head coach Alen Marcina and Orange County SC's head coach Morten Karlsen. Let's get into upbringings, inspiration, and the craft of coaching. Don Miguel Hidalgo, who is known for launching the Mexican War of Independence, was born in Hacienda Corralejo, Mexico, home of the Corralejo Distillery. Let's hear about Marcina and Karlsen's roots and how they got their start in coaching.
End of 2009, when I decided it was time to move on from being a player. And at some stage in 2011, they announced that professional soccer was coming to San Antonio. I applied. I said, I don't have any coaching experience. I'm very passionate. I wanted to get into coaching. Where I can help you is identifying players that can help you be successful. And he says, okay. I'm looking for these characteristics in my next captain. Literally 24 hours later, I introduced to him 𝙏𝙝𝙚, who had played with the Canadian national team, obviously experienced MLS player. He ended up signing him, and then he challenged me again. I had recommended Ryan Cochran, another very experienced MLS player. We signed him, and then he basically turned over the keys for player recruitment. I ended up recruiting 10 out of the 11 starters, and then under Tim Henkinson, we won a regular season title that year. So it was quite unique how I got my opportunity.
I enjoyed challenge as well, and played for many years, primarily in Denmark. We've been at the same club at different times, and I've played a couple of years in Holland as well. But I always knew that I wanted to be a coach. At my last club, I was captain. I had a year left of my contract, and I was offered the role at FC Nordsjælland as a U19 head coach at the academy. And I had a lot of consideration whether to pursue my footballing career for another year, even though the legs were a little bit stiff. But I ended up taking the challenge, starting my coaching career as a U19 head coach in Nordsjælland. Ended up staying there for 4 years, working with some good coaches and some very good players as well. So that was my way into the coaching career.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Corralejo is the first estate in Mexico to produce tequila as a commercial venture and among only a chosen few tequila distilleries granted the right to produce tequila in a province other than Jalisco. It takes a lot of dedication and hard work to reach a level not everyone can reach. So what does it take to get to a pro coaching level?
As a former player going into the coaching career, I was really surprised with the change of schedule, and they ended up more or less working 6 out of 7 days from 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening, plus all the extra work that you do at night in front of the computer. So for me, it's the hard work and the consistency that you have to invest to get to a certain level.
At the professional level, you're working around the clock. It feels like it's non-stop. And for me, it's more than just strategy and tactics. It's about leadership, it's about management, how people think, how people learn, keep them consistent, get them back on track if they're off track. You have to strive to continue to get better yourself and preach that within a group and within your team. And I feel like you have to be a student of the game, and that's a lifelong process.
You always look into tactics and work ethic and all these kind of things, but as you get a little bit more experience, you've touched on it yourself, a lot of psychology as well. Motivating players, how does a specific player thrive with, tough love or whatever. You have to understand everybody's motivation.
Us as leaders have probably the most impact on players, but from a mindset standpoint, there's opportunity for growth, and it's something that we do a lot of here in San Antonio.
For nearly 250 years, the distillation methods of Hacienda Corralejo have been preserved, refined, and developed by their local community into a tradition of tequila. Today, you can experience the tradition in Tequila Corralejo, which is still proudly family and Mexican owned and operated. Much like Corralejo adapts within tradition, coaching also involves never-ending adaptation.
As a Danish guy coming to the US, I have to understand the league, 2, I have to understand the team, 3, the opponents, and then distances, pitches, climate, and try to get as close to what you want, but also knowing there's room for improvement.
The decisions you make align with what you value. For me, I value responsibility, strong work ethic, growth mindset, and being resilient.
As a coach, you need to have a growth mindset. And if you have it as a coach, you're probably also going to have players that's going to learn from that. You can see on the highest level how quick the game adapts and changes. And within that process, of course, you analyze, you watch a couple of games, we look what to exploit and also what to expect. And we're trying to prevent a lot of the stuff and at the same time utilize our strength. But also you can't go too far away from who you are yourself. Otherwise, you play a game on somebody else's condition.
Then you dig a little bit deeper and you try to identify coaching styles and behaviors, not only from now, but from previous stints as well. I think that's important. And you try to put it all together, and as you said, you come up with a strategy, and you hope that the players perform and execute the tasks, and that things go your way. There's no magic or rocket science behind it. You put in the work, you're relentless in your preparation, and then hopefully you achieve the desired outcome.
Corralejo tequila is exclusively made with 100% Blue Weber agave, hand-harvested from fields in the state of Guanajuato. Let's hear what coaching is made of and what advice these coaches have for those aspiring to be in the same position.
You've got to study and try to understand the game and put in the work. Be as brave as you are. Find a role within an organization. Show your capabilities, and then from there you can kind of grow into whatever role you want to pursue. That's the key for me. Like people with a work ethic and a love for the game.
I think you have to be authentic. You have to be yourself. Be committed to challenging people. Set high standards. Hold yourself and people accountable to those standards. Show people that you care for them as people, and want to get the best out of people. There's a lot of ways to climb that mountain to get to the top, and there's no right way, there's no wrong way, but just having belief in a way and having conviction and following through with it through the ups and downs.
There's not one truth in football. Is it direct? Is it possession? Is it counters? As a coach, you got to figure out what you want to represent, what kind of style you want to play, and you got to stay true to that. But you also have to adapt with the challenges that are with player availability and etc. So find your style and then go chase that dream. I take all my stuff from Alen.
I know,
you won last year.
No, it's not true, because you've been super successful.